For Republican voters, there's now just one alternative to an ex-president who incited an insurrection, who faces 91 felony counts in 4 jurisdictions, who said he wants to be dictator for a day. His words, not mine. I mean, I could really go on and on here about Trump's alarming statements in his record, but we don't have all day for that. But the one person left standing in his way is former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley. Haley spent the morning in Hampton, New Hampshire. Trump did a stop in Londonderry, and his surrogates, Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know the one, you know her, and South Carolina Senator Tim Scott are also crisscrossing the state for him, out there campaigning on his behalf. Haley now has that 2-person contest she has always wanted, but everything suggests that she is an uphill climb. The last tracking poll out just this morning shows Trump up by 22 points. That's a lot. And over the last few weeks, the Haley campaign has been resetting expectations. Because remember, there was a period of time where the thought was after Chris Christie got out, she would gain those votes and she would really start surging. That hasn't exactly happened. And her top surrogate in the state, Governor Chris Sununu, who's been with her at every event, once predicted that she'd win in New Hampshire. Now he says second place is just fine.
At the end of the day, this is a one-on-one race, right? This is Nikki Haley versus Donald Trump. I think she's going to do very well in Iowa. She's going to challenge Trump. I think she wins here in New Hampshire. Of course, she's going to be second. No one has ever said Nikki Haley has to win New Hampshire.
There's kind of a tape for everything, isn't there? Now, part of the message from the Haley campaign today is basically, don't count me out. I'm the alternative to Trump. Turn out, don't count me out. And that she needs to keep building moving forward. And after all, New Hampshire has a bit of a history of stunning primary upsets. John McCain beat George W. Bush here in 2000. 8 years later, Hillary Clinton came from behind and beat Barack Obama. I remember that one very well and very personally. If there is an upset, which as Politico put it, would be, quote, one of the greatest primary upsets in history, in part because of that margin, it will happen because of independent voters who can participate in today's primary, and they could make all the difference. Now, in the last competitive Republican primary in 2016, independents made up more than 40% of the electorate. But typically, during these primaries, you feel something happening on the ground. I mean, I've been here for the last 4 days. A number of the people we'll be talking to have been here for several days, if not longer. Usually feel momentum, the type of momentum that propelled the John McCains of the world to an upset. It's not exactly present here right now at her events. That's not a magical definition, but it is something always to track. The only thing is, the one thing that really matters is what voters have to say. Voters are voting now. Polls are going to start closing today in just 3 hours, so we'll see what they have to say. But the first results are already in. The town of Dixville Notch has been casting the first votes in the First in the Nation primary for 64 years. And at midnight, Nikki Haley swept Donald Trump, winning all of the town's 6 votes. So no matter what happens tonight, she will always have Dixville Notch. And that's where we're going to start our conversation today with MSNBC National Affairs analyst John Heilemann, who's with me here in Manchester. It's also his birthday, although he doesn't want singing, apparently, along with Senator Claire McCaskill, who's here with us. She's the co-host of the MSNBC podcast, How to Win 2024, and 2 NBC News correspondents here in New Hampshire who've been working their tails out on the trail, covering these 2 candidates, Ali Vitale, who's in Pembroke, and Gary Hake, who's in Nashua. So, Ali, I want to start with you, because you're with the Haley campaign. You've been covering them for days, if not longer. Tell us a little bit about how they're feeling tonight. What is the argument that she and her top surrogates are making in the final hours?
Yeah, Jen, it's been days on the ground here in New Hampshire and months that I'm really feeling the weight of today, because this is, frankly, the do-or-die moment for the Haley campaign. That's not the way they're saying it. You played that clip of Governor Chris Sununu there saying Haley was never expected or needed to win here in New Hampshire. But certainly a win would be nice. That's unspoken from the Haley team. But it would lend even more credence to why they're saying they're staying in this race and vowing to go not just through her home state of South Carolina, but all the way through Super Tuesday. And in part, it's because they believe the coalition they're building here, which includes those undeclared or independent voters, can be replicated in other states down the line. Voters like Kathy, who I spoke to here, who are voting for Haley and would love to vote for Haley because they don't know what they'd do in a general election otherwise. Listen.
I voted for Haley.
Why?
Because I disagree with a lot of what Trump has done.
You're an independent. Have you ever voted for Trump? No. Have you voted for Biden?
I did.
Would you vote for Biden again in 2024 if it comes down to Trump versus Biden?
Good question. I don't know. Probably Biden then.
So, Jen, that's the way the coalition is coming together, at least here in New Hampshire. And look, this is a bellwether polling place that we are at here within Merrimack County. If you look at the way that the numbers came in 2016 for Trump and Cruz, and we were to lump all of those together, it comes out to around 47%. The other non-Trump Cruz candidates from that 16 cycle come out to about 49%. It's an imperfect science, but it's one that we're looking at as a potential scenario that if Haley were able to cobble together all of those non-Trump, non-Cruz voters, she could theoretically win in key counties like this, and that would be a big deal in the entire state writ large.
It certainly would be. It would be a very big surprise if she won in a lot of those counties, but we're all going to be watching very, very closely. Before I let you go, Allie, she had this memo. You walk through a lot of the details of the highlights she has in there. She's also been making the case that Trump is the institutional candidate, which is kind of interesting, right? That she's the insurgent in some ways.
Yeah.
What else was stuck out to you in that memo, or kind of the spin you're hearing from the Haley team at this point?
There were a few things that stuck out to me in that memo, specifically because it's yet another example of the Haley team digging in their heels. I think one of the phrases that her campaign manager, Betsy Ankeny, used in the memo was basically saying, hey, everybody take a deep breath. We're only 2 states in, and we've got a long way to go here down the stretch. They're arguing that states like Michigan and Virginia and Texas are places that Haley is going to be able to play well. In part, they're arguing because of her actual message and the momentum they feel they're building, even though she's yet to win a state and they can't detail which one that would be. I think that's a real problem if you're saying you're making a delegate strategy and not being able to win a state and still trying to contest for the nomination. But they also have the backing. What's unsaid in that memo is the backing of the Koch-backed group that endorsed Haley earlier this year. They are fanned out at the grassroots level, already knocking on doors, sort of doing the advance work for Haley in those Super Tuesday states. And so it is Haley's game to play within her campaign. They're focusing on the next states in the calendar, but they've already got folks on the ground focusing on what's ahead. She's got donor trips and donor visits booked throughout February. All of that, again, lends to the idea that she is staying in this race as the Trump alternative. Of course, the former president, no fan of that. And we know from Garrett's reporting, he is definitely not going to make that an easy one, but still, she's doing it.